Get ready for the adrenaline rush because the Bagger World Cup is leveling up. Former MotoGP and World SBK race winner Andrea Iannone is officially joining the Bagger World Cup with Niti Racing, expanding the grid to a massive 10 riders. This seasoned Italian racer brings top-level experience and an aggressive mindset to the championship, and you absolutely do not want to miss the action starting at the Italian GP in Mugello. He is set to compete on the Harley-Davidson machines, and his arrival signals a serious shift in the competition.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, we dive into the big picture for the Premier class, as MotoGP officials make a major announcement. They have confirmed that there will be a definitive ban on wildcard riders in the Premier class starting from 2027. This significant rule revision coincides with a hefty overhaul of the racing rulebook, including the introduction of a brand new lower 850cc engine capacity. We break down what this means for the future of the sport and whether this change is the right move for the grid. Now, let's talk drama from the French scene as we look at the situation surrounding Dani Pedrosa and the return of Maverick Viñales. Following recent developments, the Spaniard is now expected to make his comeback at his home Grand Prix in Barcelona in May, but the path is anything but smooth. We examine why the situation with Paul Espargaro and the team has led to a surprising replacement, Jonas Folger, stepping in for Tech 3 in Le Mans. And finally, we look at the latest ruling from MotoGP after Marc Marquez's recent sprint victory. Following the debate over his pit lane entry during the Jerez sprint race, officials have clarified the rules, confirming that Marquez did not break any regulations. But this incident has sparked a wider conversation about pit lane regulations. Stay locked in because we are bringing you all the breaking news, every race update, and the deepest dives into the world of motorsport. The FIM Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup is set to significantly bolster its competition with the addition of former MotoGP and World SBK race winner Andrea Iannone, who will join the grid via Niti Racing. The experienced Italian rider will be the 10th competitor, debuting at the Italian GP in Mugello from May 29th to 31st. Following a strong opening round, which saw Oscar Gutierrez secure a victory in Race 2, Niti Racing is expanding its roster to include Iannone alongside Gutierrez and Dimas Eki Pratama, creating a formidable three-bike effort. Iannone brings a pedigree of top-level experience, natural speed, and an aggressive competitive mindset, positioning him as an immediate contender for the championship. Iannone's participation increases the Bagger World Cup grid to 10 riders, enhancing the overall depth and competitiveness of the inaugural season. He will test out the Harley-Davidson machines at Mugello, a venue known for its engaging atmosphere, alongside fellow Italian rider Filippo Ravelli of the Parcangio team, promising an enhanced experience for Italian supporters. Speaking about the move, Andrea Iannone expressed excitement about the challenge, stating, "I like challenges, especially when they take you out of your comfort zone. This is something completely different, and that's exactly why I said yes." He emphasized his admiration for Harley-Davidson and the riding community, noting that the category embodies adrenaline and passion. Iannone is focused on quickly understanding the bike and being competitive immediately at Mugello. Angela Koo, team manager for Niti Racing, confirmed that adding Iannone is a natural progression to build momentum, adding an extra dimension of experience to the team. Jeffrey Schuessler, director of global racing programs for Harley-Davidson, viewed the addition as a strong statement about the championship's ambition, noting that Iannone's profile adds significant energy to the grid. The FIM Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup is the first global championship exclusively for high-performance Harley-Davidson Bagger motorcycles, combining heritage, technical innovation, and premier international competition. MotoGP is set to implement a significant rule change, confirming a ban on wildcard riders in the Premier class starting from the 2027 season. This decision is the culmination of extensive discussions held by the Grand Prix Commission during March and April, and it is slated to coincide with a substantial overhaul of the racing rulebook. A key element of this revision includes the introduction of a new lower 850cc engine capacity for the competition. The move signals a shift in the competitive landscape of MotoGP, aiming to standardize the field of competition. The introduction of the wildcard ban is part of a broader strategy to refine the racing regulations. Fans and industry stakeholders are now being asked for their opinions on this development, as highlighted in a recent poll on Motorcycle News. The decision reflects a concerted effort by race organizers to redefine the structure and character of the Premier class moving forward. Dani Pedrosa is not set to replace Maverick Viñales at the upcoming French MotoGP race due to a combination of personal decision and contractual factors, according to Autosport. Viñales is currently recovering from shoulder surgery and is expected to return to his home Grand Prix in Barcelona in mid-May. Regulations require MotoGP teams to field 2 riders at each Grand Prix unless a rider misses the event for more than 10 days. This necessitated a replacement for Viñales at Jerez 2 weeks prior, but Paul Espargaro, the designated substitute, suffered an unexpected injury during training, leaving the team scrambling. KTM has struggled to find a suitable replacement for Pedrosa, despite the team's logical inclination to field the 3-time world champion, who showed strong form during recent official testing at Jerez. The situation escalated when Pedrosa recently stated his intention to never race again, citing that his time has passed and expressing comfort with his role as a test rider. This decision is also influenced by his contract situation. Recent renewals with KTM have seen decreased duration and pay, including a significant cut during the manufacturer's financial difficulties. As a contingency, Jonas Folger is slated to race for the Tech 3 team at Le Mans. Folger, who previously competed in Moto2 and had a brief stint in the Premier class with Tech 3, is the rider KTM has settled on to fill the vacancy. Folger's history includes a surprising podium finish in the German GP in 2017, though he has since stepped away from full-time competition. The focus now shifts to how KTM will manage the roster ahead of the upcoming French event. MotoGP officials have implemented new rules immediately following discussions surrounding Marc Marquez's pit lane entry during the recent Jerez sprint race. Marquez secured a victory in the Spanish Grand Prix sprint, but his method of entering the pit lane, by cutting across the grass, sparked debate among some observers who felt he gained an unfair advantage. The core contention was that the maneuver allowed him to take a shortcut to switch bikes, leading to calls for a penalty. However, rivals argued that Marquez had not technically violated any existing regulations at the time. The decision by officials not to introduce rule changes immediately after the win was not unexpected, reflecting a pattern where mid-season rule updates are infrequent in MotoGP. The incident served more as a spotlight, highlighting an area of regulations that MotoGP is anticipated to address in the future, alongside larger planned changes such as bans on new ride height systems and wildcard entries beginning in 2027. In an analysis of the Spanish Grand Prix, Matt Oxley detailed why Marquez avoided a penalty for his pit lane entry. Oxley explained that 2 distinct rules from different sections of the rulebook applied. The first rule stipulates that riders must use the track and the pit lane. Crucially, it states that if a rider leaves the track, they may rejoin at a point that does not provide an advantage. Oxley noted that while Marquez gained an advantage, it was not measured in meters on the track, thus avoiding a violation of this rule. The second relevant rule requires the rider to enter the pit lane, crossing the designated timing point with their machine to execute the bike exchange, a requirement Marquez met by passing through the designated discs. Oxley concluded that regardless of opinion, Marquez did not break a rule. Should similar incidents recur, MotoGP may reassess the regulation of pit lane entries in the future.